competition. A second chance now for Benji, Fishy, Matzo, and Amplify. Another big wave for Janice, Chapix, and Hen to push themselves forward. They're the second place team currently. And for everyone else around, like the Siptos, Kinzel, CRR, Leo, who got rebooted, it's a chance to catch up, not having one of the biggest point hogs alive in the match anymore. CRR finds a pocket of destiny to get these frags and shots in. Not going to be possible for him to connect for any more, though. One flopper here, the whole trio alive behind him, but I don't think this is going to be the best lane to follow. This is a trap that Kinzel's setting. He can turn around really quick and find more beams.
It's usually CRR trio is on the other side. This is not where they like to be. This is not where they like to fight, but they're just trying to get into these box fights out there, and it's kind of messing up their game plan that they're used to. Now you're seeing the lines are not set at the storm line. They're really going all the way out to POIs, and that's what Kinzel's trio did. They literally went all the way up to Craggy Cliffs to kind of third party into some fights here, and when they're able to do that, CRR definitely suffered, but there's still a team on the bridge. I also saw on the feed, Shio, Savage's trio taking out Pablo's trio, because we all know Pablo loves center, and Savage's trio was already sitting there, and they had a box fight, and Savage was able to kind of take out one of those members. We'll take a look if Pablo's trio is one of them still around here shortly.
This is the worst spot for Benji, Fishy, Matzo.
Oh no,
every single time,
Benji.
every game. Scooped up from the dirt by a shovel of shots from high ground. And now there's no way that these guys can dig back their chances at staying in this game. No shields, no reboot men in sight. Matzo and Amplify have to operate as a duo. I know they're powerful, but they're so much stronger with Benji at the helm. Moshi's also just pushing right by towards the box. This man has taken out some of the most high-profile teams towards the top spot. In game one, it was Seti, Kemi, and Teak. In game two, it's Benji, Fishy. These guys are basically bounty hunters running around the map.
It's up to Amplify and Matzo to kind of have that same performance that they had in day one, game one, where they're able to get a top finish without Benji. That duo is still strong. We all know that Matzo can make some sound rotations. Now we're taking a look at the rest of the field here. Let's see who's still up. ZQ and CRR find some way to survive that stormhold, and now literally without any heals, down to one headshot from any kind of weapon basically, and they're out.
It's not survive, it's just delay. That's the operating word. How far
delay
can they get before they're taken out?
I'm optimistic. I think they can pull a miracle,
man. Like, look at the HP.
Look,
I'm not in this game, Sancho. I think I have more HP than these guys in total.
Here we go. CRR, we know, has the ability to do something, pull a magic out of his hat and get some beams right there on Wakey. This is an opportunity. You know, if they get a refish, they're right back in it. Oh, no. It was too much too soon, and the edits come down from Neb's trio, and they just see it. It's just sometimes you can't overcome statistics, Shio. You're right.
No, it's not even that, though. You're right in the fact that it can still affect the server. It took out Wakey from shields and HP down to nothing. That's going to affect the Siptos and Kinzel's chances, that whole trio, of making it in. Talking about big trios, though. Hen, Chapix, Janice, High Grounds. This is kind of like, what is it, a metaphor for the standings right now. They're basically in first if they make any form of placement. They already have 2 elims, so they're basically tied now for that first place slot, and they're looking down on everyone, making sure no one can touch them on height.
And it was Hen's trio that was sitting at that tree mountain. They were the one there as well, set up early, and they had so many people try to claw away and take height from them. On the rotation from the other side of the center from previous zone, it is Savage's trio, and they're making their way into this fight as well. This is a match they desperately need, in my opinion, to make some moves, at least get some confidence build up, because they do have championship pedigree. Tayson again going for that back-to-back championship. Let's go, boys. Let's get it done.
It's big too, because they didn't get a chance to fully play out that game number 1. This is huge for them in 2, and they already have 5 elims in total as well.
I'm talking about it. They're here. Savages, he has them cabbages, baby. Let's go. It's in the inventory. You know it's going to be real.
And the inventory could be in the chat. It's always good to give the spirit over to Savage, but still, look who's on height. Got to remember, though, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. If you want to talk about Savage versus Hen right now, if you're on low ground, you might get shot at, get affected, get looked at. It's not going to really affect you the whole way through. You can move, you can adjust. When a team chooses to shoot you down and contest you for height, they're going all in. So it could be troublesome These guys try to hold everything, but they got zone. That's huge. It's moving over towards the Coliseum. We're foreshadowing a big fight, possibly between two teams towards this end game. Gotta remember too, those walls are indestructible. Not even the Acts of Champions, I think, can break that thing down. So these guys have to be careful and make sure they're higher than those walls, especially all those low ground teams.
I'm going to say something, but just vibe with me, everybody. Not even the mythical Infinity Blade could take it all down. Not going to happen. That sword ain't going to do it. I ain't going to cut it, dude. They're just too strong right now. That structure is too massive for even that to take it down.
Oh, but Seti going for the revive, not going to be possible for him to have the awareness at the same time to look at the right side of his wall. A second game where Seti, Cammy, and Teak don't get to have a voice. Silenced. Take down to the mouth, and now it's just Teak with no shields. He finds Milo, but can't do anything else.
He could do this, man. Oh my goodness.
You can't do anything else.
Real. He can't do anymore. I was gonna say the sand tunneling could allow him to extend to delay the inevitable right now. But let's take a look at the inevitable. Is the height, is Janice's trio alongside with Hen and Chapix having some extreme dominance right here. And Matzo goes down in the feed to Tayson. Here it is. Savage, Tayson, and eye drop here on the low ground. Now with the layer switch, they have an opportunity to get some damage done. Here we go, Chayo.
Yep, they started all the way from mid, drop down straight below. Just basically ownership of, look at it, basically half the zone. No one can push their boxes from the backside. High ground doesn't want to touch them at the bottom. They have to elevate though. We are going past the Coliseum. We're basically going to be on the wall, on the edge. It has to be the best rotation. Andalex, Snazy, big bouncer to get up as well. You got to be creative with where you're going, but now they're neck and neck with Savage's trio.
Yeah, Savage is right next door. They're on the same layer, but they're going to move up. Andalix is going to tarp up, slowly ramp up, and he may cut off Savage's trio, and they do!
They grab right up top over the leaderboard, 9th place, dropping down. But the people who were just barely ahead / behind of them, they just go straight all the way towards the top. But it's Hen, Japix, and Janice who are still controlling height up to this point. And with this zone, they can really bully anyone who's up on top of these walls.
Question is, there's low ground is out the door now. Low ground, if you fight there, if you're a Matzo fan, if you're a Benji fan, that is out the door. So now it's about the teams who have the experience, who know how to tarp up for height, and that's why Xweez here and Andalik is actually Snazy have an opportunity to hold on. But in these fights, oh no, they go into the Coliseum and it's rotating out of the Coliseum. They may be able to get, I don't think they're going to be able to get out there. No way.
Might be able to from the left side. Snazy has found a way to go around. Pencil up top, low HP. Janice and Chapix look better. Savage all the way on low with the eye drop. They're operating as a duo, so is Flecken and Bayon. Stash has his full squad with him. Matt split. Savage has none, just 3. But the big shots are there with lever action. We'll see Height splitting up the ammo. They're getting ready. They're prepared for the beam down. 7 trios left. We're getting closer to the top 3. That's huge too. Lucky number 13 with players. There's a big beam from Xweez. He gets down Savage. He now has the big guns available to push forward, but Snazy's behind him. Merely just the pet with the HP that he has. He can't really touch or do anything or peek out to anyone. It's all up to Xweez to lead the charge over here. Operate with one player basically on the leash. That Harpoon will make sure they can break through. 5 different trios still left alive though.
I can't believe Xweez was able to get out of the Coliseum. They probably went down and made some great layer switches to do that. Merch stacks is going down here. But the story is Xweez and Snazy here trying to hold on as long as possible. Down he goes, but Snazy's still up. Snazy still has an opportunity to get to the top 3, and that's going to be, Snazy just takes out Janice with a big blast. And Snazy is still fighting for his opportunity to get into it, and he does get into that top 3.
Right now, it's a dream down on low ground to try to be able to survive this very difficult zone. Pretty soon, these guys will have to face reality as Snazy goes down. Yes, the high ground is very real. They've been waiting, barely using mats, and now they're ready. It's a 2v2. Chapix and Hen versus Flecken and Bayon.
Flecken here doing his best to hold on. It's Bayon and Flecken. They had this opportunity. This is where they got into the reboot round along these horns of the Colossal Coliseum. Now, Hen has not had an opportunity to put some max damage out in this lobby here. Now Flecken is taking some damage. Flecken is in. Hen gets it right then. Hits Flecken right down. Gets down and out. Hen is on a tear. Now he's looking for Bayon. He has to find him. Bayon has a lot of health advantage. Down goes Hen. But it's Chapix at height. Can Chapix? Yes! Chapix is able to close the door on that valid attempt there with 8 limbs. But what a great finish for Flecken's trio to get to that opportunity to have a say and to move up their leaderboard with a top 2 finish right then and there. But hey, I gotta say, Snazy coming in, getting that top 3, that was big too.
Yeah, Snazy survived the whole way through. You were surprised. I was surprised. Still, though, it's kind of real when you find out, you know, these guys are kind of sleeping in low ground. They look up to the sun in the sky, and you have Chapix and Hen just dropping down beams. It's impossible to break that spot.
Yeah, you know, I know Hen's trio, they were happy that the Colossal Coliseum was in play, no doubt, because that means most likely to get the Victory Royale. But at the same time, that kind of move up that wall kind of took out a lot of opportunities to send beams down below, because people just basically get kind of caught on that fortifying wall. Wow.
Yeah, and the question is, with Vidil, Noah, Riley, and Reason down early in the game, was it enough for Chapix to take it all the way towards the top in first place? The desk has the answers.
We do have the answers, but you have to wait just a moment. I know. We got to build tension. We got to build suspense. A couple things here I got to applaud. Flecken, Bayon, Diablo, the team that made it through the reboot round, who just missed out on going through the finals. They find that final opportunity, and now they're showing us, listen, we're a trio you need to have eyes on. Second place is so good. But Reese, Hen, Chapix, Janice, even when Janice was down, playing closer to that mid-ground tart, Chapix, he's like, hey, don't worry. I got you, bro. I got you.
You know, this is the play style we're used to seeing from these guys. Eliminations early and mid game, picking up enough so you don't have to worry about Storm Surge. Then after that, claiming that height early on and just absolutely running away with it after that. You know, they pick up eliminations. I think they ended up with 8 there total. But, you know, one of the things I actually want to look at, you know, we keep mentioning Flecken's team. I was kind of, while we're watching there, you know, my prediction's Hen's team. But at the same time, when I saw Flecken going on and starting to perform there, I saw a kind of flashback from the reboot round. I was like, he has the med kit. He intentionally went into zone to take that one tick in the zone so that he could pop the med kit and go for the heal off. And it looked like he could have ended up playing it. But, you know, let's be real. Hen's team was just too good.
Yeah, great stuff all around. We've both spoken so much about Hen's trio. They've been amazing.
Yeah.
I do want to sort of highlight some of the teams who we mentioned at the top of the show, right? With Anilex's trio, they just had another really good game, 3rd place there. iDrop's trio with Tayson and Savage, they had a decent game, 6th place. Now, I mentioned these guys had bad days yesterday. If this is the time now for them to sort of pick things up, get back into a rhythm, then, you know, it's going to get really exciting, because I've mentioned how, look, we've had a lot of teams, you know, who we expected to do well, doing well. Those are the 2 sort of teams who everyone expected to do well who haven't. So if now we're adding those guys to the list of teams doing well as well, it's like, it's just crazy. EU, FNCS is insane.
And it's crazy too, just how close everything is, especially when we're coming down to like your top five trios. When they know, like, hey, we're about to go down, they're still finding opportunities to find additional eliminations, placement, the works.
Yeah, you know what? We were watching Redzone's team in that previous game. You know, this is from game 1. They started off with that big Victory Royale, and that took them up to the top of the leaderboards. And you know what? This is kind of how it was done. We saw Redzone at that point jump all the way back behind. If you notice, no one's paying attention to it at this point. 2 massive tag shots, and then a 3rd to pick up the other one. So at this point, that is actually clutch. Now, we had to make sure this was seen again, because we didn't get to see this from Redzone's PoE. But the fact that he jumped behind them meant that no one was paying attention to it at all. And then we all saw this. Zeke, you were getting hyped about this shot. Vidil picked up a massive shot. 89 HP, and you can see that he actually tries to go for a little mini play, trying to get ahead, but actually ends up hurting himself by going into the zone instead. But he's prepped. Absolutely laser focus aim, picking up Slender in that first game.
Yeah, and Shia sort of alluded to it, but in the next game, like, these guys actually go down to Surge, right? They went down early, and that did leave room for other teams to sort of have, you know, a great game. Look, we saw going into this, Hen's team was in 2nd place, and that Victory Royale has a big chance of pushing them ahead, right? And so, how do these guys bounce back now? They just went down to Surge. This is not something we see of them, right? Like, this is not something you expect to happen to Noah Riley's trio. You expect these guys to always be good in Surge. So how do they bounce back? Like I just said, big opportunity for them to sort of lose that 1st place slot, and they do. Hen, Janice, and Chapix are now starting to pull away. I really wanted to see on day 2 who's going to be the trio to start to pull away. Hen, Janice, and Chapix look like they're the ones to take that initiative.
You know, if any trio is going to pull away, it's going to be our prediction trio. Let's be real, 11. Come on. And they're absolutely going for it. You know, these guys deserve this slot. Like I've already mentioned, I'm going to say the stat again. I've said it so many times. These guys have been top 5 in every single tournament they played as a trio. You know, I definitely think honestly, these guys are the strongest coming into that. But we can't kind of overshadow some of the other teams here in the top 5. You know, Amplify, Matzo, and Benji Fishy. Today, you know, the first game, they were 7th with 4 eliminations. In that last game, only being 14th with 1. But you know what? They started off some of the other games a little bit hit or miss as well in day 1. So these guys have not been super consistent in every game. But all that kind of suggests to me is that they have the big potential for another massive victory and to jump back up the leaderboards.
Yeah, most definitely. I do want to sort of highlight one thing to watch out for, right? If you're a fan of, you know, seeing how rivalries play out, on that first page there, 5th place, you know, Mexi, Michael Verox, 4th place, Thomas and Nas and Flick. These guys are huge rivals, and so who's going to beat who in terms of finishing in that final place at the end of the 12 games we've had? Who knows? Bayon, Diablo, Fleck in there, you saw them in 17th place. That game does sort of help them, you know, get a bit further up the standings. You know, can they sort of get into a position where they can make a bit more cheddar, a bit more dosh? It'll be interesting to see.
Well, man, we'll have to see if you guys' trio can hold on, because if they do, ingredient soup. But for now, speaking of spicy, we're sending it back over to Sancho West and Shy Wager. It's game number 3 of the FNCS.
Let's hold on to that soup for just a little minute there, because we've got some more beefy action still in play inside the FNCS. That third game or second game just kind of passes on. Now it's really time to get the brass tacks.
Oh, yeah, man. You could feel the pressure is building slowly and slowly. You're seeing big-time reaches to make some movement. And Refsguard is now back into the fray here, looking for this first points of the day. It's just been one of those days for Refsguard's trio. But if their day 1 performance can show what they can do in day 2, they have the opportunity to at least make a say into the top 10.
Absolutely. And right now they're starting things strong. They weren't really, I guess, present that last game at Steamy Stacks. I didn't really see them around. Maybe they left a little bit earlier. Now they're really stock hopping, looking for those shots left and right. It's looking nice, and they've won against Robnik so many times.
Looks like Legend gets an elimination on Pablo. No doubt that happened out there in Holly Hedges. So many more adjustments are happening throughout the entire map. More people are moving, trying new spots here. At this moment, sometimes when you only got 3 matches left to go, Shio, you just got to throw it all on the wall and see what sticks.
And now Robnik's sticking straight to the floor. Can't move. Got knocked down. And then we have Vidil moving forward as well. These guys have to be on the hunt today. 100%. Yes. Because last game, it didn't look too good. This game, they're still not finding more. And this is why. Every POY, no one's being flexible anymore. They're really staying in their boxes. They're not over peaking. They're not going towards the right or left side to find anything more. They're just focused on their one-on-one fight.
And here's another one-on-one fight in day 1. It went towards Refsguard's trio. I mentioned that they were able to clear out the entire northeast side of the corner, sending multiple trios throughout the entire map here on their own here. And now, clawing their way up slowly. It all begins, man. We've seen it. This kind of format could definitely pop off here. Get a couple things going away. You get a box fight. You get a nice refresher when you desperately need it. Maybe you pull zone, maybe you get to high. All of that's still in play here, but they're going to have to fight in this kind of creative box fighting map they've just created here. Like, did you see that down below? We're talking about metal touches and everything. Like, let's go, boys. Let's have ourselves a good old-fashioned box fight.
This kind of reminds me of that dance floor all the way back.
Yes.
And what was it, like New Factories?
Yep.
In the last map? Yeah. This is basically the same thing. We're about to start a party.
Yeah, no, it's not the kind of party that you definitely want to take if you're Refsguard. It's just going to further delay your rotation. It just seems like that's what happened throughout this entire Steamy Stacks here in the EU finals. You know, championships were born here. You know, Janice and Tayson, they all won solo championships from here, but it just seems to be the opposite here in trios. All the analysts, we always have this kind of conversation like, what's going on with Steamy Stacks? Why can't they produce the same kind of production on the trios base? It's just simply, it takes a long time to end your fight there.
Yeah, and as a result, everyone just kind of, you know, gets really stuck on the leaderboard. They can't really move back and forth. Speaking of the map, though, right now, bottom right side type zone. So no one from Steamy Stacks will be able to have the freest type rotation. It'll be long.
we have to talk about the kind of day that Kiko's trio is having. They're doing really well. They're in game, and this zone right here is going to heavily favor them as well. Now we're going to go jump back up to this engagement. Redguard's getting one. I think that's close to being the wipe, but no, another trio is here to fight. They're here to have some more fun, and I think I have to guess it's actually Boyer. Boyer, who is down in the orchard. I think Boyer now is looking for some Elim points as well.
It's time for round 2. And these guys don't have that much steam left in the tank. Scram just get picked back up. That's kind of huge. But once again, just deep inside this factory, it's so hard to find ways to move around. You have to remember it was the old team who was just here, who had all the control of the walls. Redguard, Andretta, and Scram will have to redecorate and at the same time escape.
And get out of there. This is why these fights take forever. As you see, Boyer's desperately trying to cut them off from getting from the steamy stack. Scram and Redguard are left behind. They're trying to get in as well to vault themselves over. They have to be careful here, because as soon as they try to get out of here, beams from Kluja and Hellfire and Boyer may send their way. And Boyer's one of those teams that had a decent start in game 1 as well. Just after that, those rotations from down south from the orchard were very tough to navigate. They had to go through Colossal Coliseum. They had to go through the Hunter's Haven multiple times. And now they're just, let's make some adjustments and push out the teams that are making late rotations as well. But not by hanging out by the storm line. Let's get in their grill.
And this is kind of a fight at the bottom of the leaderboard. Basically 22nd place for Redguard and Andretta. And Scram, meanwhile, Boyer all the way down towards 29th. So even sitting up high, yes, these guys have the high ground in game. And also on the standings, Boyer will choose not to use aggression to move up, but just smart rotations and pressure. Good choice, good choice. Eximako, Verox, these guys also kind of far from home in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
But now looking like, they're liking to make EU, anywhere they land, their home. Top 5 right now for these guys cumulatively. 157 total points. They're just 2 points behind Flick and Austin Thomas HD.
And this is a great spot for tags. The Dusty Depot is phenomenal. It's so much value. As you can see, you get so much sight lines for all around the map. At the same time, we saw the Matzo, Amplify, and Benji, who love to do sand rotations. That's how mainly they get around in this area of the map. You could get somebody out. Like Shayo said, dig them out, get them in a lock animation, and get a huge tags and maybe a knock here. So expect Michael's trio here to hang out here for a bit. I'm going to be here for a while, and then they're going to move on. But I got to tip my hat to these boys. They were worried that, Thomas HG kind of booted him out of Dusty. Everyone on social media was like, what are you going to do? Are you going to contest? Especially Verox, man. That was his home. He was born there in this chapter, for crying out loud. And now he, grown up, moved out of the house, moved on down to the butter barn, and finding some success.
Success for them, and not as much as reason for Dylan O'Reilly. Almost going for, I guess, the full gauntlet here. 21 different teams they've had a little bit of a bite from. I hope they can make the full 33 at the end of the day, but have to stay ahead of Surge. That's the biggest thing. That's been their issue so far. Driving around is one of the best options. They're searching around Slurpee all the way from Sweaty Sands. They went north last game, south this one. I mean, there's no one in sight.
And I just love this emote use right here by Vidil, just to be able to not to get a clean headshot. Very cheeky, very smart. But what has been so difficult for them is that their reputation precedes them, and now no one wants to play with them. It's just what it is. It is what it is. They have no one to play with now because they don't like to share. They don't like to share points. Again, I'm a dad. Hey, kids don't like to share when they're little. It is what it is. So they're not sharing anything, and no one wants to play with them. We did a look at Analyx's trio. They like to do that. If zone pulls on them, in the previous game 1, they like to look for storm stags. They're looking at Lazy Lake. They're looking at Retail Row. Their adjustment that they made was now going down to Cape Cod, trying to find Nico's team. Nico's trio loves to make that rotation, that dead side rotation through the coastline. So that's why Analyx is down there looking for more tags. And as you see, Analyx's trio is actually sitting dead center because weather station's right there. Those mountains are going to be very valuable going forward in the rest of this match.
They're finding enough teams, though, to get tags from. You see Diablo and Bayon and company all the way inside this box looking for shots as well towards Verox's team. Torrentos and Julex pushing forward as well. Both teams having not too bad of a day, but need to elevate today to get towards the top of those, you know, big leaderboard standing. This is a 23-point team in the day in 23rd place.
You know, some people out there are visual learners, and I myself is a visual learner, and that visual look at that map right there tells me all I need to know for the day. No one's lining up anymore on that line. By now, yesterday, zone 2, everyone's sitting on that line. Not anymore. They're all trying to get those Storm Surge tags in their separate little box fights, and then once they get enough tags, then they rotate in. So what that means is anyone that's been very consistent playing for center, they have a lot of pressure. Like you said, Alex's Trio has a lot of pressure to find those Storm Surge tags. They need to have their aim be accurate and true.
I don't think that line dancing's done just yet. Gotta remember, just the second zone, once these guys clip all the way into third, there's no way you're trying to just push forward onto different mountains.
It's not a line dance anymore, dude. It's a mosh pit out there.
No, I think we still have a few tunes left.
Okay.
Just wait for this zone to lock in, and we'll see exactly where these non-card trios will end up. It'll be all around Lazy Lake, and then that left side as well.
All I know, man, is I don't think it's a silent disco. I just think it's just like a loud mosh pit of destruction that's happening out there in all these fights. And like I mentioned, man, the rotational bandwidth is just so little now, more than anything. And if you're like Chirentos and you're not finding any kind of fight, Chess team here is going to have some issues. Now they have to box up and try to get some tags here, and before they know it, they're going to be the ones that are late rotating in, and then they're going to be storm held. This is what happens when you make these decisions. Every decision matters here in these kind of high stakes tournament.
And these are the dynamic decisions as well. We saw some of these top teams in big bases. Toronto's Julex and Mustache are just kind of stopping wherever they can. It's not fully planned, so they don't even have the biggest sight lines. Guys are operating on fumes, but hopefully they get through. Just 2 damage below. And now Ardent and Pizza right beside Wakey as well. I think both these teams are always itching for fights. Artor is here too. They've gotten into so many mid-game fights as well. These are just rough riders back and forth. And they're still gonna go and confirm a few things. Right now on the other side of the map, we have Swag's trio going down slightly. I'm not sure if it's 2 reasons.
Okay.
Yes, it is. And they find the snipe as well. So big above Surge.
I was going to say, man, Reasons Trio is all they're doing is looking for a third-party opportunity to go in. And you saw they went from 14 Storm Surge all the way up to the 400. So that is why that's their game plan. They look for third parties. If you're based up trying to get Storm Surge tags, they're going to sneak up on you. They're going to ambush you. So now they have a strong opportunity to do the rest of their game plan, which is more dead side rotations, more pushes into Fox fights. So if you building out of wood or anything weak, they see that weakness and they go right in.
Now I want to see if any of these teams get to break out of Misty Meadows or if we're going to be locked down here right next to the circle. We have one team kind of rolling away. Agram, Reason, Swag, and then Trulix with Big and Stompy are here too. Looking for a shot in with Pizza. I was talking to Trulix yesterday. Basically, the thing stopping them from pushing forward was first zone Surge. And the way they were kind of handling getting tags, hopefully they fixed it over. Haven't landed any shots towards the deal right now, but they're making adjustments.
No, this is a big time moment here. Zone 3 has been revealed and it's more south. Last time we had an in-game here yesterday, it ended on the lake, but that's not going to happen this time. It's going to go down to that mountainous terrain. Thomas HT picking up an Elam on Cluja. Badil, Noah Riley, Reason still on their feet, making their way forward. Edgrim still on their feet, making their way forward, but this is going to be a very dangerous short rotation. You mentioned Trulix trying to get tags here. They're staying on the outside. I think they're tired of going down before they have an opportunity to fight for height. They're just sick of it.
Yeah, there's, basically a set plan put down on paper on how to rotate from here. I feel like that paper is about to be crumpled and then thrown into the zone. As a result, some of these teams might end up going down. They're still right next to each other. It still looks nice and straight. No creases on that piece of paper. Hero, Swag, and Snap are going to be moving forward first. Everyone's rolling in. No folds. Okay. It's organized.
Blackie just wiped out Cammy's trio all by himself.
Again?
Blackie just wiped him out. It's just not the kind of day for Cammy's trio. It's just showing you that split It's just once people start coming in, once they start, it's like you're building a kind of wooden blocks tower, right? The moment one piece is missing, that whole thing collapses, and that's what's happening. They need perfect rotations. They need that loot to have success, and so far, day 2, all that success is being destroyed by that lobby.
You can always rebuild that tower. You can also have that happen towards the mid game as well on a sound structured tower. That's exactly what Snap was trying to do on screen to Karma, Aware, and Legends. Not going to happen though. They'll box up on top of each other in a really weird spot. I'm not sure exactly what you can see from here, especially if there's a lot of teams above you, but I respect it. It's cool to be side by side. No Riley the deal though. They want to go higher. Trulex is there as well. Both teams that love to be all the way up top, and now the fight starts box to box. Kind of getting itchy between both these teams. Noah Riley's going to be the one person to be having the opportunity to drop down from an angle that they actually can't perceive or see. There it is, the big charge shot on towards Trulex. He gets a big shot back though. Noah Riley's in trouble. 45 HP, has to find room to breathe. He's choking on air right now. There's a tree in the way. Okay, it'll be there for camouflage, but he's leaving both his teammates down below in a fight against Juriki. It wasn't even Trulex, and Juriki gets wiped out.
Man, so many trios are playing right into the plan of Noah Riley's trio. That's what they want. They want these fights. They love mid-game fights on the Storm Edge. They're going to take them, and they're not going to let go. This trio is dangerous, and they're moving up their leaderboard slowly but surely just by their E-lane play. We're not even in placement points yet, Shayo.
And look at this, entire leaderboard at the same time. The differences in points between teams is huge. Almost 40 points ahead is Janice and Shapix. Past that too, everyone's kind of neck and neck. But if these guys survive in this game, can anyone really catch them?
Everybody on social media, on the Reddit forums, were saying Noah Riley's Vidil's reasons game plan of keying everybody is not going to work in a high stakes lobby. It's not going to work against 150 plus FNCS finals appearances, but it's working right now, and they're in second place.
Thing though is now for this rotation, this is kind of like an ocean all these players have to cross. They'll be on similar kind of wavelengths and a boat. Will anyone be, prime enough, sturdy enough to go for a mutiny of sorts and become the captain of this rotation, go for more beams, take a fight? Or will it all be organized? One team already dipped through that river. Some of these boats have made land on the other side. No Riley Vidil have that chance to, take the reins away from the captains, but they're so far below, so low, it's not possible. And like Snazy, like Squeeze, though, they're all the way up in the bird's nest of the boat, of the zone. And they look so good. Highest almost. I want to make sure before I say it, because last time there's another team all the way on top of the mountain. So one of the highest spots, but not high vibe. Psych, yes, there are 72 damage above Surge.
And they're in a massive porta fortress or their own custom. And I was going to say they're looking good, but in the inside, they're not eating well because the Storm Surge is barely above 38 above. They need to start getting some tags here, valuable tags here if they want to hold on to this dominant position. And this is why Analyx now is going to go in and he's going to box fight Scram and Rustguard. And I think Analyx is going to go solo because they will still want to hold on to that position. No, he has someone out here. It's Snazy. It is a duo versus duo. And now Squeeze joins this fight here. So it's a trio. Now I'm going to push on this duo here. So that's going to be a big time. Analyx actually gets a big time hit here. Scram and Restguard are not going to go down without a fight here. This is a very important fight here for Analyx's trio because they desperately need these tags.
1 HP on Refsguard. They were so close to getting so much more damage too. 35 above now, 9 below. This is a very difficult lobby. And 9 players will have to go down for the Surge to stop in just a few moments. We'll see exactly if these guys can get any more. 35 above. Storm Surge is now active. A big 49 tag. That'll be huge for Analyx. But the fight's not stopping. They find Refsguard. They'll be able to snipe him down as well, but they have to do it quick. There we go. 200 more damage, but it's still not enough after that.
Oh, there it is.
346. It's over.
Man, and Scram's still alive there, but Snazy's trio, they're good. They're not going to fight anymore, and they have to go there. The rotation's going to push them there anyway, but that's the kind of pressure you have here when you fight on center zone is all of a sudden you have to step out of your comfort zone, step away from that piano, and you're going to have to dance and fight.
So on the left side there, kind of with Snazy, it's basically fencing, swords, eloquent. Over here, it's open fist slaps to the face between two trios. Pink low, stompy low. Noah Riley doesn't care. He's not even editing walls. He just has a charge. ults ready to go. It's absolutely disrespectful and crazy, and it's working.
They are in the zone. They are buzzsawing this entire lobby, and they're not going to stop. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our number one first place currently holding on, Janice Hen and Chapix. I'm sure they're seeing that feed lead up by that second place here. Looking down below, you're seeing Savage is barely without any shield here, but what a great position here. No one's going to be able to sneak in a sniper shot here for Janice Hen and Chapix. They're going to find some great opportunities and pick on Slender, which is another top 5 team having some issues with this rotation.
You're saying great position. I'm saying, what is their position? Look at the minimap. It's arrows on arrows. It's like a quiver of an archer. You can't really determine who's where. There's too many people on top of each other. I'm not sure exactly what Janice is even working with vertically right now. And they have to pull over the mountain. There's no way. Patty, Knifer, and Vino are the ones all the way up top. Another round for Anas, Flick, and Thomas to maybe take height. But they failed 2 games so far. Will the third try be the chance?
This is going to be a huge opportunity as well for Knifer's trio to move up to the leaderboard. They were able to kind of capitalize on this height, all determine where it goes, how dangerous Thomas, HC, Flick, and Anas going to be, and of course, how dangerous Hen's right below right there. You also have Anilix. These trios love to play for height. This is the first time that we've seen in the final stage Patty, Knifer, and Vino be at height as Savage does go down and out.
And it's really easy to spot how good these eagles look all the way up in the sky, but the rats down below in low ground, you can see Benji Fishy, Amplify Matzo moving up the left side, Snazy so close to the front of the zone all the way on the right. Patty's actually lagging a little bit far behind, but that's possible to get some tags all the way on the right and left sides. We'll see if it's possible. Big bridge for him to cross and a big ladder for everyone else to climb all the way up the highest mountain Fortnite has to offer.
Actually, Savage is still there. Savage is barely alive right then and there. Savage has an opportunity too, but this is the kind of zone that Benji and Matzo do really well in as well. We saw this in the finals. They were able to secure a top placement.
And right now, everyone's kind of put to the ultimate test on rotation. Who will be the ones to make the smartest rotation just in general at the moment? Black Yellow on the right side, he's always surviving 24/7. Vino, though, is dropping the pressure down below. We see Snazy leading the pack aside. Benji Fishy on the left boxes. Patty is basically, having a free rotation, but still struggling to get all the way up top high. One of those ramps breaks down too. Nora Riley goes down. Hen goes down too. Reason has low HP. People are not passing the test. Anas and Benji Fishy are fighting in the zone, and Benji goes down, but trades with Thomas. Flick and Anas are trying to grab all the way up, but they're drowning. They're drowning. They can't breathe. Flick goes down. Top teams can't make the hurdle.
There's one top team in the 7th place going into this match that still has an opportunity. Reason still a solo here, still has the opportunity to get huge, valuable placement. Look at that feed light up. So many people fell when the zone went up and over. Knifer, Piety, and Vino, they had no opportunities to get 0 limbs because the mountain took all of that away here. So yes, they might get that victory royale, but they're not going to capitalize on that valuable position, like Reese said, where you could get 5 limbs, and Reason finally goes down to Snag. Oh,
Snazy
no!
was trying to grasp anything, a little bit of a breath on a high. He tries to bounce her down, but gets beamed. Stats all the way down too. Vino still controls height. DKS on the right side. It's an icy end game. You want to make sure no one here slips. It's a duel situation though for Stassi right now, moving up. Nice side jump to make sure he relieves all the pressure. 3 different trios left. He's looking up for Patty. It's a possibility. There's 170 mats though. Miro's still alive all the way on low too. Where is Miro? Is he even on screen? He's all the way down below.
Miro has done this rotation before. All the clips I've seen him, but no, Blackie. This is going to be a huge error, but his teammate there, Snag, is there. Blackie gets tagged in the back. Down goes Blackie from Snag, and Eric in there to finish the trade. Now it is a top 2 situation. Can Eric keep up? He's going for the rest. I mean, it's still a lot of zone left because so many people went down early. Knifer and Patty still have this opportunity, but this is going up over the mountain. This is not going to look good, but Erican is not going to give up. They're going to grasp as much as possible. This is still up for them here. I don't think Patty and Knifer, they're not going to go down. They're going to try to hold on, but if they were any kind of aggressive, but Eric and Blackie here getting closer and closer to height.
at World's Edge, and they finally find a way to jump over. Patty though denies it. He win with a big clap back. Blackie is left at the bottom of the mountain. Does he have any heals is the question. 40 seconds of time he has to buy, and Knifer has 2 floppers. The Fishman on top of the mountain with the big shots wins the game. What a zone. What a performance.
Man, that mountain zone just took out so many of the top players, top of the leaderboard, and that gave an opportunity for Knifer's Trio to walk away from that. But they only got, from what I've seen, maybe 1 elim and the Victory Royale. Huge placement point game for them. But at the same time, you would hope that they would get more elims, but that finish, Shayo, that mountain, quite treacherous.
How can you elim people when you have to deal with the mountain, man?
I'm not know.
There's this natural low ground trying to eliminate you. So that's a rough one. A lot of top teams also, wiped out, as you said, Sancho. We got to.
Man, I just got to say, I love Sancho and Shai's casting. They are phenomenal. The hype was there. The grandfather mountain will always claim its toll. And also, I think, guys, this is the craziest underdog story. Knifer's Trio coming in, former FNCS champions from console. They're showing up, they're saying, listen, friends, you think we can't hang? Watch this. We're about to take a Victory Royale away from you. Just pulling the rug out beneath you. No problem.
And for that team, in their heat after the first 3 games, they had 2 points. They were down bad, right? They were down bad. However, the last 3 games of their heat, they absolutely popped off, managed to get that top 8. Today, and yesterday, I think before that game, they had a total of 34 points. And I think they gained somewhere around 40 to 50 in that game in particular. We'll see when the leaderboards pop up. So huge game already. Way more points they've gotten than all the rest games. So this could be the start of their momentum. Another thing when you're noticing, we saw the res. We saw them go for the revive in that end game. And you might be thinking, how is this possible? How is a 2v2 situation you're getting a revive off? But if you notice when we switch back to the team on hype, Paddy's team, they had been on hype for so long and they didn't manage to get a refresh that they're already still out of AR ammo. So it's kind of a reflection on what we saw back in game 2 of yesterday, where teams on hype just didn't manage to get that refresh enough to get the ammo to keep pressuring down, but ended up winning anyway this time.
Yeah, I think this is what day 2 is all about, right? The remontadas, the comebacks, and I think if you look at what both of those teams were, the final 2 teams there, Paddy's team finished yesterday in 29th, Erkin's team finished yesterday in 20th. Not the best performances by any means, but both of these guys on the day coming out and showing that, we are solid teams, we can get decent placements. Another thing to note, and Alexis team, another strong game, 4th place, they finish in that game. So, when we have these exciting zones, these zones that go up in extreme, elevations, it is always exciting. It's fun for us to watch, not fun for the players. I'll tell you that much. But,
Extreme's the right word. I think extreme was the right word.
Yeah.
Still super fun. And guys, I kind of want to continue this underdog story, right? Because we're seeing these guys at the top, but I truly believe anyone can still pull off the championship, right? They can walk away winners.
Yeah, well, I wanted to highlight Splender's team, right? I've been referencing them a lot, my Portuguese Magnificos. These guys on the day coming into this game have been the 2nd best team, right, in terms of their performances, their placements. And I think it's because they've been so proactive, right? Yesterday, they picked up a Victory Royale. I spoke to Mosh and he said, look, I'm feeling a little top 7, right? I think if we have good surge, if we can sort that out, we're going to be fine. And I think they've sort of figured things out. You saw that in the first clip, right? He lands there, he realizes, like other teams have, can he split? These guys are so split around on the map. If I land on this mountain here, get a weapon, by, the RNG gods, I can get some tags off, I can get some shots off, and it's, paying off for these guys. Hopefully we can see them sort of convert and have really good performances moving forward. Leaderboards haven't changed up too much as a result of the fact we had 2 teams really low down, doing well. And so the top of the leaderboards still looking similar to what we saw last game.
Yeah, we saw, Hen, Janus, and Chapix there coming down in 11th with 3 eliminations. So, as far as their games have gone, somehow, even though they came 11th with 3 elims, that's still one of their worst games yet. So that just shows how consistent and good these guys really are. But, that actually has kind of closed the gap between Vidil, Norale, and Rezon and them. They're now 20 points difference because something that went under the radar a little bit there was Vidil, Rezon, and Norale's 10 eliminations. They popped off with 10 eliminations in 5th place. So while all these teams were struggling climbing up that hill, you know what? These guys were just looking at each other and saying, you know what? That elim's mine. You're struggling? No, you're out of the game. Sorry. You're struggling? You're gone too. So, you know what? They took advantage of the awkward zone, to say the least, and managed to get up. If they'd managed to get into that top 3 as well, we could see a different story between that top leaderboards.
Look, Reese, we got 3 games left. Are we starting to get to the place where, you know, it's becoming a 2-person race, right? Where it's like we have these two teams. These 2 teams look like the teams who are most likely going to leave today with the AXA champions. I don't want to speak too soon, right? 3 games is still plenty of time for someone to just come through and just wow us, right? But it is starting to look like those are the 2 teams that are going to pull away. Don't want to speak too soon. I don't want to jinx anything. Don't want to speak too soon. Taking a look at your screens. Caster cards. We've heard it all before. Interesting stuff, right? Certain players who I think started off hot yesterday, not being able to replicate their performances in that sense, right? You know, you mentioned how Stompy's team really started off hot, right? First game with Victory Royale, second game, second place. And now it's like they've sort of fallen off a cliff, no pun intended, to that last game. And it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to bounce back in a sense.
That's what it's all about. They have 3 games left. They have a championship, the Axe of Champions. That is all these players are thinking about. Who will pull out all the stops and walk away your new champions? Well, after 3 games, we will find out. But for now, we got to cool off. We're going to step away, go find some chug splashes because we have taken a bunch of damage and we need to be prepared heading into these last 3 games of the FNCS. So get up. 3 games. See you guys in just a moment.
Welcome to the Reboot Rundown. If you missed it, there was a special reboot round which included all the best teams that couldn't make it past the semifinals. Everyone had one more chance. Only the team with the Victory Royale in the single match could make it to the finals of this FNCS. With these types of stakes, we saw the craziest action and display of dominance throughout every region. Today, we're going to show you just 3 of those stories from Europe, North America East, and North America West.
For EU, it was Flecken, Aloft, Diablo, and Bayon who clinched the Victory Royale with a thrilling heal-off that went down to the final second. Flecken gets chosen to try and heal off and win the game as a solo. With no mats, he's forced to go into the heal-off 29 seconds before the zone closes. The medkits can't be used here because he's already in zone and the other team has a huge advantage on time, so he needs to do something and make a play to win the game. Dropping to low ground, he finds the most crucial elimination, netting him 50 extra HP from Siphon, 2 floppers and cabbages, enough to make up the time difference and win him the reboot round. You could feel the hype in this final moment.
An opportunity here, right here. Flecken has the win condition for the heal off there, but can a trio there? Okay, he found the Elim, gets a little bit more Siphon. Now he's in it. He's all the way committed. Gray is going to go for the med kit. He does have an opportunity to walk away. A top 3 situation here, Sayo.
He's trying for it. Everyone now in helo mode. Gray's all the way up top looking for it. Flecken gets a big Siphon as well. MXR is trying to delay anything, but it's head to head. Flecken versus Gray. He's got cabbages and floppers. Gray will have to drop down and find this elimination. Flecken with the flops. Pops one over. That's his last. Gray, 2 seconds. 1. It's over. And it's Flecken with positioning, aggression, and heals to win the European reboot round. Now in NA East, people were playing for heal-offs too, but there was one team with a very different goal in mind and a mission to continue their legacy in this FNCS finals. They weren't going to lose. NRG Zate, Train H Saf, and Liquid Stretch. Names synonymous with greatness and a history of success, no matter what team they were on. These guys chose to attack the POI with the most explosive potential, Hydro 16. Endgame gave us the pleasure of watching the classic split this trio does so well, making sure no one could touch them on height with constant pressure from all angles. In EU, height changed hands 7 times, but in NA East, no one dared to challenge the Kings at their throne. With no bounce back zones, everyone on low ground ran out of mats way quicker. The likelihood of a heal off looked so low, and they didn't even have to touch the reserve of heals they had at all. They made their performance look absolutely flawless. This was one of the most legendary comebacks of one of the greatest teams to touch competitive Fortnite.
Dogs is in shambles. Mega's back in Storm. He finds more meds though. He gets more splashes. He gets more floppers. Is this enough? He can pull off the double med kit. RPG's sees them. They take down Dubs, but they don't take down Mega. He's deep in Storm. Stretch is setting up. He's looking. He's got the meds, but he's also got the eyes in the sky. Who has more meds, Stretch or Mega? Mega went out deep. He went in early. He's pushing back in. He knows he doesn't have it. He can't get the med kit off. That's it. As long as Stretch heals this, Zayt, Saf, and Stretch will be going through to the grand final. Wow. Stretch holds on to his history.
NA West, a region where you can expect the unexpected. Coming into this reboot round, it was a pure wildcard match. Each team had an equal chance of clinching that victory royale and qualifying for the finals. The way Jeffers, Union and Dardis clutched up had the heal-off meta involved with a little bit of spice. Dropping Holly Hedges, there was a ton of heals to be found. 6 chug splashes along with more from a loot llama, with some additional seasoning of 6 peppers to speed up their luck and position on the map. In the final duel in NA West, it was time for an upset. It looked like solo FNCS champion Vert and his trio, who was slated to come back and win the reboot round, had it all in the bag. Jeffers' trio had other plans. They made a crucial play in disrupting the heal-off, and the rest is history.
Chug Splash is there. Does he have enough to put
getting
pressure from
pounded.
high ground, though? He's got to keep Chug Splashing, got to keep throwing, got to keep going for it. No! There's a player on the
found
other
him.
side. Is he going to go down? He got knocked!
It's Vert. Vert's in the zone. It's Vert versus Jeffers. Vert has to find Jeffers up on the high ground, but Jeffers has the peppers. He's popping a pepper. Chug Splash is going through. The medkit won't matter. Vert has to go find him, and Jeffers says, "Toodaloo, I will see you in the finals. You'll be watching. I'll be playing, baby."
How far will these teams go? Will the addition of aggressive fighters, historic legends, or a team that gets one more chance at fame change the story of the FNCS finals? We've made it past the reboot. Now it's time to play out the rest of the game. Keep your seatbelts on, Fortnite fam. We'll see you at the finals. Beep beep.
What's going on, Fortnite fam? Welcome back to the finals here of the FNCS. We're in the European region, where only 3 games remain until we know who the next trio's champions will be and who will get to hold those Acts of Champions until the next FNCS. It's me, Z. We got Reese, we got Levin, and in just a moment, we'll be jumping back aboard the battle bus for game number 4 on the day. We hope you guys are enjoying the action. If you're watching a Party Royale, what's up, Party Royale? Give me your favorite emote right now. I like it. Perfect. You know who else likes it? It's Shy Wager. It's Sancho West. Let's get in the game.
Oh, we like it a lot, and it's about to get serious. The final quarter of games for the European finals. We have some of the best teams towards the top.
Absolutely, and this is number 5. This is intense here. Every moment matters here on out. Every build, every rotation, every decision, every shot is going to matter, so you could walk away the FNCS champion in the lion's share of over $1 million. First place, $300,000. Wow, Chayo, we're talking about life-changing money will be cholled out here today in just a few hours. If you can't feel that, ooh, we're gonna get you there, I promise you.
I feel like some names already maybe signed on that check, right? Hen, Janice, and Chapix are just having a phenomenal performance game after game after game. A 3rd, 1st, and then 11th overall on the day. More elims every single game that are getting higher and higher. And they have a 20-point difference between them and then Vidil, Noah Riley, and Reason. Thomas HC Flick and Anas are also in the business, in the mix, 4th place overall. But man, these guys in 1st are so far ahead.
So far ahead, and as well, Seti, Cami, and Teak, who started off the day in the 1st place, sliding further down as they have been eliminated. Again, we are jumping into the match. A lot of things have already happened already. We also have Nico's trio going down, Eunice's trio going down, and Legends trio going down. But the big one is that 8th place trio going down. So that gives rooms for Kiko to move up. It gives room for Savage to get off that 10th place to move up. But now we're focused here on Thomas HD trio coming in 4th place last season, finishing in 3rd place, wanting a better opportunity to go up their leaderboard as much as possible here. And they're already seeing it. The changes there, they're hitting their shots here. And this is where right now, it's just you're all going based on instinct. All those plans and whatnot, out the window, bro.
Their instinct is always nice. It's just so unfortunate because we've seen them in 2 games be so close to, gaining control. This is a team that, you know, to get the most points possible, they need that VR, they need a position where they're on height towards the end. But Sancho, we've been seeing zones that are made up from someone I gotta believe is diabolical, man. A mountain. You're forcing every team to cross over. You're forcing teams to the north edge of the zone too. You're forcing them to play in the dry desert over and over. Ultimate low ground with no bounce backs. It's so difficult to operate in these end games, yet the same teams at the top are finding success game after game.
And they're doing it in different ways. Reasons Trio decided to let's go ahead and get our points in elims, and they racked in like about, I think, reset 10 elims, so they got at least 20 points, even though they fell at top 5, not getting that big bonus in that top 3. Still a phenomenal performance to close the gap on Hen's Trio.
And then Amplify, Matzo, and Benji are still in the mix, even though they have a few rough games here and there. Is Thomas gonna find the snipe?
Dude, he's shooting that through the trees. He's just going off on, like I said, instinct. But now we're taking a look at the Chaos at the 0 point going down. The deal, no O'Reilly reason. Sometimes they take off a big bite that they simply cannot chew. But it looks like it does work out. They just swallow that down right then and there. Reason Vidil, no O'Reilly picking fights left and right. But this may be a troublesome spot considering that there's a lot of trios in this situation. Kluja, Hellfire going down. This Boyer, who has been always trying to hold on, trying to keep this trio steady, the veteran, doing all that he can against this dangerous trio. Close to might be converted over into it, and Boyer now is just going to go away because there's still a lot to play. If you're not in the top 5, at least top 10 opportunities. Boyer's trio's in 19th place. They can make some movement. If they break into top 15 for them, that's going to be big money increase as well.
20-point difference as well for Hen and Vidil we just saw on screen. And they kind of make it up a little bit with those 2 elims. That trio is kind of like a spiky ball. No one can grasp them, hold them down, or even leave them unscathed.
Dude, that looked like a little spa, right? Doesn't that look refreshing to go into? It looks so fine. I know that's you know, it's heating up here in the States, and that looked refreshing to hang out in. As you're seeing, Thomas Stacey has spent more time alive than any other player in the EU region. This shows you, like I said, in-game, he has that solo clutch opportunities. He did it last season, winning a couple victory royales by himself. Of course, the meta's changed. The Shockwave was a huge factor into winning that. And now, they're 47 above. So that little delay, that spa retreat, kind of slowed them down just a little bit.
At the same time with that stat, technically, with in-game time age, Thomas is the oldest player on the field. So he has to be the wisest. Maybe that's why he hits all these snipes, you know? He knows the angles. He's like the hidden sage, basically, on the Fortnite island in EU.
But hey, let's see, you know, maybe that's going to wear him out. The stamina just to be up, that intensity to be up. You know, we've seen that sometimes when you're playing that high level, you know, these games, they go 20 plus at least, all the way to those final minutes, all the way down to that final zone. But now we're going, you mentioned Wise. Uguay, aka Chapex, is here, all Wise being an essential member of that trio, looking pretty good as they're making a rotation. Now we're going to another situation of another trio in the top 5, sitting in 3rd place. Matzo, Benji, Amplify have not had a signature game yet in this day, but still in the top 5. This is going to be a huge box fight because if they go down, I think they're going to have, and Elixir Trio, no doubt, be able to leapfrog them.
I'm scared to watch this.
Close your eyes.
My heart one too many times. I want to. It's just there's the one time maybe I don't want to watch Benji on my stream because it's too scary. Every game these guys are rotating, they get troublesome or just in some form of situation where they can't control it. They get shot down, and then Benji goes down or Matsu goes down. They're so cool to watch in these end games. They're just not making it there every time today.
And the reason why they're here, this is the rotation. This is their Storm Surge plan coming into Hunter's Haven. And of course, Kenzel coming from Coral Castle. This is where they end up at the edge of zone. So that's why they're colliding. Kenzel's needing these Storm Surge tags to get into that fight.
Kenzel's also had such a rough time with zones in general and plays in general. Game 1 pushed down by Reason. The most recent game, they land at Coral Castle, that's the top left, and they have to run all the way over to the mountain on the bottom right. A running simulator basically for that team. And right now, Anas, Thomas, and Flick, you were talking about 43 above. This is 32 below, right? Not only just in Storm Surge damage, but in body temperature. These guys are kind of ice cold for the moment, not active, not finding any shots, not really living in the heat. Unfortunate, but a team beside them they can push.
And that team is Analex's trio, and Analex's trio is rotating early. They want no business of Anas's trio on the backside. If they could turn around and maybe get a crucial hit, Thomas's trio will go down. But we all know Thomas AC has been able to survive and help this team with a clutch sniper shot to get that viable Storm Surge tag. Let's go back into this engagement here of Amplify, Matzo, Benji going up against Kenzel's trio. DreamHack champions going against Matzo, Benji, and Amplify.
3 players, 4 letters, 1 word. That's ruin. No shields on Benji or Matzo. My man's got a blue pistol in the inventory in an open slot. Amplify down bad right now, but they can bring it back. This is the result of this entire fight. The mats are low too. They have to invest in metal this early into the game. I know we kind of tuned in later, but that's not usually what this trio wants to do. It's always a speed bump for their highway kind of type game. They want to just glide all the way over towards the end game untouched, unscathed. And I mentioned, they weren't making any end games before. I was talking as a full trio. They're obviously very consistent today. That's why they're still in the top 5, but they really perform when all 3 are alive in those final zones.
And it looks like Kenzel's not going to be part of that fight. Kenzel's a great solo player, like I mentioned, a DreamHack champion going down. So it's going to be a duo of Deceptos and Wakey to get the job done. But Benji, Amplify, and Matzo, all eyes of the EU region are watching this rotation as Benji does go down from the lobby focus. It looks like, oh my goodness, Matzo going for that Hail Maker. That downtown play gets rejected by Mexi, and that's going to be big considering, like I mentioned, they're sitting in 3rd place. And the Storm Surge plan did not work out for them. They went up. They had a box fight with Kenzel, exhausted their materials. They had to rotate late going further and went right into the arms of Verox's trio.
There's 3 different snipers active for this team as well. The Guild Gamma combination. Or it might not just be GG's in total for these guys. It might be a bad game overall because not finding their surge tags, not landing the snipes currently. It's troublesome. The zone as well. My favorite one in particular, Misty Meadows, islands, rivers, mountains. You have to pick where to go, and if you make the wrong choice, it's going to be one of the hardest rotations. We're now going towards the islands. Now kind of 3 different 50-50s playing. Will it kind of go towards a peninsula? Will it be kind of isolated on an island as well? The next zone is what I'm talking about. Or will it rebound all the way back towards a different side where a team had control? Will it go towards Misty Meadows, where Vidil, Noah Riley, and Reason are? Juriki right beside them. They got in a fight previously in the last game. A possible temptation for revenge on the other trio, but how do you know if it's Reason, Vidil, and Noah Riley on your box, on your walls? Maybe it's because they turn around and fight you. They're actually going to skip straight over and go for position.
Now we're seeing the leaderboard. Look at that. It's 20 points still separating Vidil and Janice's trio right now. Vidil playing right into that game plan that they have here, pushing a box fight. They already got a box fight against this trio today. I saw in the feed Deceptos and Wakey are still alive. They're still alive, getting a couple of elims in the feed. So that run is still going. And look at that, man. The reputation, they just get out of dodge.
Really jumping back, and I'd like to just take this time to give you a breakdown of exactly where we are in this tournament. Right now, maybe we've been using crayons or mechanical pencils, things that are erasable, in terms of performance game to game over the 2 days. On this last back half of games, everything these guys do will be written with permanent marker for this final push in the finals. You will not be able to erase a mistake. You can stamp down your spot in the top 5 off of this game inside this tournament. So we'll see if it's possible. Anas, Thomas, and Flick are riding off the page right now, though. 155 damage below. I'm not sure if they have the credentials to be able to sign off on this game. That gas canister might give them a sightline in to make a few shots over, but that's Ardent, Pizza, and Artox. These guys are so good at playing defensively. Might not be possible. First place trio, though. Chapix is down.
Chapix and Hen and Janice here. This is what happens to their trios. Chapix now is down, so it's up to Janice and Hen to work this out. When they don't really function as a duo in these situations, you will see them kind of separate here, but they are all stars in the solo gameplay. And
be over for the moment because they operate as a duo in the 7th circle. If my eyes don't deceive me, that number says 4 right now, and it's about to change to 5 in terms of circle number. Usually there are 3 people alive in that situation. They're gonna have to just do this entire rotation with a 1/3 less of mats available to them in general. And Storm Surge strikes once again right below Anas, Flick, and Thomas. That's Refsguard, Scram, and Indretta. who are once again in a desperate spot. Stormsurge stops. So it was just
and they have a close to max pull here, and they still have work to do for Storm Surge tags. Yes, because they survived. It's just showing this lobby is being really aggressive this match. They still have to get their tags in. With a great rotation here, deciding to go on foot. Everybody, Knifer kind of invested in height here, did not work out, so now they're moving. Now that Knifer got a taste of height, they've been putting all their kind of marbles in that bag, and so far, all those marbles are on the floor. The plan has been thrown out the window.
15 to give you a scope as to how these rotations are going as well, why this is important. 5th place, 6th place, 3rd place down. No Verox, no Miro, no Matzo. Flick and Nos Thomas HD have a chance to just break into the top 3 here. It's all there now in this game for them. Past that, Indelex, Snazy, and X-Squeeze, these guys have a chance to break into top 5, currently in 7th place, and no teams aside from this one standing in their way. That's the Guild Gamma trio. So many people now not even risking for a high spot. In these waters, they're keeping it low to the ground. They're trying to just ride these waves, but there's a rocket in the way, a torpedo of sorts stopping the boat rotation. Hen will be right beside Janice, but at the same time taking beams from up top. That's Vidil knocking on their roof. Do they have the foundation? Can they survive? They're teetering, tottering. Janice is down. Hen will be the last alive here. It's almost over for him too. The first place team might be stopped in their tracks.
Hen now has to survive as much as possible to hold on. No! DKS picks up Hen. That first place team got lobby focused. They saw the wood bilge go out, and everybody knows that's a huge target here. Now that's going to be a big opportunity for Verdil to catch up, but a bigger opportunity for a Gnosis trio to get up closer here. But look at the rotation they have to make. It's another max pull rotation. Zone 6 is going up north towards the mountains, and look who is at height for that brief moment on the left of your screen, folks. It is Stompy's trio, and they're up high with an RPG. They're going to go ahead and most likely, looks like Pink is actually going to connect and tarp over. They're going to be expended to anyone deciding to make this rotation on the water.
Complete water rotation. The zone doesn't bounce back. Low ground will run out of gas. Snipers there all the way down below. Looking at Flick though and Noah Riley are 2 big trios to watch this game. Pink, was he sniped off of height? Was that a big shot or not? Yes, he did take some damage, but he's one of the best shots I've ever seen on the height. And Flick is moving up towards it. Anas is also trying to take it over. Eats the rocket, RPG. But defends it perfectly. Anas is close to taking it. Flick is still pushing for it more and more. Running out of match though. He's so close to out of steam.
Oh my goodness, and now we have a top team at height, the second place team going to this match. It is Vidil's trio who is sitting out there. Trulix's trio went down, and that's a huge opportunity for Vidil, Reason, Noah Riley, and they could get another victory out in this day here. But let's focus on Flick on the bottom right, who is fighting now with Thomas HG, trying to make all the promise in the world to get up their leaderboard here as much as possible. Storm Surge is active, but it will be turned off shortly as only 2 people have to go down. Let's see if Reason, Vidil, and Noah Riley, they could catch up, because first place did go down on earlier rotations.
It's all about changing hands of power now for this game. It squeezes also all the way in the front side of the zone. Focused by Noah Riley for now. They don't have anything big to actually break that box. All the way up top. No one ahead of them right now. Hen, Janice, and Chapix once again have been eliminated here right now. Flick is down. So the 4th place team gets stopped in their tracks too. How far can Noah Riley really take this with Vidil and Reason? A harpoon to keep their refreshes all the way up top. The mats are going to be looking good. The ammo looking good too. And the low ground might be pulling up some elevation, which is huge for this team. Big shots on the Patty. He's about to go down. Just 1 Elam on Noah Riley right now. 2 on Vidil. They need to get more.
They need this right here, but also Anilix Trio needs that as well. They're on the front side coming into this match with the 7th place finish. If they could go ahead and move up the leaderboard as much as possible, this will be a huge opportunity to get to that top 5, and hundreds of thousands of dollars will be exchanged. Paco gets focused. Down goes Paco. Now Stacy's on the backside looking for some E-limbs as possible. Anilix is on the front side trying to tarp his trio to a beautiful tunnel to get as many E-limbs as possible. Pablo Wingo now is on the backside in trouble. Kiko in the top 10 is in trouble as well. Getting focus from height, he's going to have to retreat. Look at the feed light up with all the people from the backside of the storm, but that just gives Noah Riley, but Dylan Reason all the opportunities to walk away with the victory royale here in this match.
Now we're left with a 3v3. Stacey Analytics next squeeze down below. Reason, Noah, Riley, and Vidil all the way up top. They're looking for their big position to go and shoot down. Pressure on top of the box. Off the trio in the mid ground is not going to be possible. Once again, two final teams really surviving it over all the way towards the end game circle. It's the 9th zone. We're looking at how they're going to go back and forth. Big shots over. Analytics takes a big shot too. He's down. Stacey, he gets his shield deleted. X-Squeeze, he's looking for a chance to actually clap back, but it's not possible. No sight length to actually zoom in from. Stacey's pushing down lower and lower. There's no chance. Noah Riley's trying to follow too. In the same box as X-Squeeze, he trades shots. Noah Riley goes down. X-Squeeze has a chance of maybe making this all the way back alive from the zone. He finds the finish onto Noah Riley. He has that siphon too. Banana box with Reason. 2v1 for X-Squeeze. He wins two. But deal now to 1v2. Is it possible? They're bringing it back. They could get the first place. Snazy on low. He provides the pressure. X-Squeeze on top. He provides the pinch. It's going to be possible. Vidil force all the way in the backside of the zone. Two people left all the way towards the end. Vidil has heals though. The heal game might be the thing to trump things over, but there's 20 seconds still left in the zone. Snazy's there still surviving. Not sure where X-Squeeze is. It's a huge divide from high to low. They're trying to focus and stop Vidil. They're going for it. Vidil with a big shot. X-Squeeze is going to be taken out by Vidil. Can he get the siphon? He can. Almost 1 second. No. And Vidil can't win it out. Snazy is there with a crazy 2v3. These guys win the game.
With 10 elims and the Victory Royale, and Snazy had chug splashes for insurance. There was no way he was going to lose that, but what fundamental low ground gameplay from Analytics.